before I even say anything, let me just say this. First off, I appreciate each and every one that visits my channel, that has supported me, that has shown me love, that has chatted up with me, that has contributed to the conversations, that has literally enjoyed my content, whether it's pro wrestling talk, Carolina Panthers football, anime, gaming, all of the above. Very thankful for all the love and support. And I love each and every one of y'all as well. Newcomers, longtime subscribers, all of the above. Now that I got that out of the way, I'm now going to say this. Can we now, for crying out loud, put this whole Tom Brady, Tampa Bay Buccaneers conspiracy theory to bed? Can we please put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Tom Brady conspiracy to bed? Can we finally put that to rest? It's over. Done. Like, for real. This Dallas Cowboys team came in and clearly did what we should have been able to do, like we did in the first place. The Dallas Cowboys literally walked into Raymond James Stadium and stomped the life out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFL 2023 playoffs. And yet, we couldn't get the job done to even have a chance to play against Dallas. Yet, this team easily comes into Raymond James Stadium and beats the brakes off of Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by a final score of 31-14. Am I salty? You better believe I am. I'm very salty. Especially considering all we had to do was win that one game, being that we even won the final Saints game. Being that we beat this team the first time and kept them out of the end zone. Can we finally put this freaking Tampa Bay Buccaneers Tom Brady conspiracy to bed? Can we please put this to bed? Please. Can we put this to bed? Can we finally freaking shut up about it? Like I said, I love you all. I appreciate you all. But can we finally, for the love of God, put this to bed? Please. Please. That's all I'm asking. That is all I'm asking. I'm begging. I am begging. I'm begging. Keep pounding nation. I'm begging. I'm begging. I am begging. I am begging. Can we finally put this to bed? Because I'm so sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of it. And I know I can't be the only one. I know I can't be the only one. Like, I am so sick and tired of it. I'll say another thing. So, okay, Tom Brady might be the GOAT of the NFL. But he's a dirty GOAT. What am I talking about? I'll even link it in the chat. That right there. Attempting to do a sliding trip on the defender. And I'm sorry, but you cannot sit there. You know, for those that haven't seen it, click on the link that I just put in the chat. Click on that link. For those that have seen that or are currently looking at that, you cannot tell me that wasn't, number one, dirty, and number two, intentional. I don't care if this dude has 50 Super Bowls. You cannot sit there looking at what I just linked, which was originally posted, shout out to Pat McAfee. My apologies. Pat McAfee. You cannot sit there and look at that and say that wasn't dirty / cheap and that wasn't intentional. Plain and simple as that. No ifs, ands, or buts. So sick and tired of all this Tom Brady bullcrap. Fact of the matter is, it should have been us in that game. Win, lose, or draw, it should have been us in that game. Should have been Carolina. Didn't go that way. It is what it is. It's already in the record books. It is what it is. But that freaking should have been Carolina in that game. Welcome to everybody that's in the chat. I had to get that out. I just had to get that out. This is not meant to be any harm towards anybody. But I had to get that out because I am sick and tired of so much of this freaking Tom Brady, Tampa Bay conspiracy bullcrap. This was literally by the grace of God that this happened. Freaking makes me sick. It makes me sick to my stomach, especially as a Carolina Panthers fan. But thankfully, they lost, which I never originally picked them to even make it to the Super Bowl. But fact of the matter is, GOAT or no GOAT, aside from them losing, that sliding trip was freaking dirty and was freaking intentional. Honestly, Tom Brady can kick rocks. Sorry, not sorry. Retire and kick rocks. And before anybody says anything about what if Tom Brady came to the Carolina Panthers, I refuse to ever be a part of that. I don't care if it ends up leading to a Super Bowl. I don't care. Not after a move like that. Not after a move like that. It was already bad enough when Mac Jones did it. But Tom Brady, the so-called GOAT, more like dirty GOAT. I don't even know if it's even safe to say GOAT after a move like that. I'm sorry, but I got to keep it real. I got to keep it real. Because it's a freaking disgrace. It's a freaking disgrace, and it pisses me off. Anyway, I'm going to move on for now, but I've said what I've said, and I mean what I've said. But I'm a move on though. But I had to get that out. I had to get that out because it freaking sickens me. What's up, Vietnam? Hey, he might be a GOAT, but he's a dirty GOAT. Plain and simple as that. Plain and simple as that. It was dirty and it was intentional. Plain and simple as that. It was dirty and it was intentional. And I don't care if he has 50 championship rings. I would not want somebody like that on my team. I don't even care. I would not want somebody like that on my team. Anyway, let's talk about coaching. The coaching search. There have been Hall of Famers who have done worse. Yeah. And honestly, most of them aren't any different. I'm just saying. Fact of the matter is that was dirty and that was intentional. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Anyway, so according to this coaching search tracker, I will also mention, so it's official. Jim Harbaugh is staying with the Michigan Wolverines. So Jim Harbaugh is off the table. He did interview with the Broncos, and word is it seemed promising, but he made the decision to stay with the Michigan Wolverines. Will continue to coach them. Vietnam says, I want Wilkes, but Ben Johnson seems promising. And that's a name that has been kind of coming up with like some aura to it. But I believe his interview is coming up if it hasn't happened already. But according to this coaching tracker, so they got 4 names listed on here. So we'll go through these and, we'll talk about some other names as well. So first off, we got Shane Steichen. I don't even know if I pronounced that name correctly. So if I mess that up, please forgive me. But current offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. And like I said, the link to this will be in the description. But Shane Steichen. So it says here he's called plays for a few different styles of quarterbacks with good success. Chargers, Justin Herbert, when he was Offensive Rookie of the Year. And then now he's with the Eagles working with Jalen Hurts. The Eagles are 3rd in the league in yardage and scoring this season with a vertical attack. Now, he's also worked as a defensive assistant as well with the Chargers long time ago, 2011 to 2012. But it looks like his forte is offense. He was an offensive assistant in Louisville in 2010, defensive assistant for the San Diego Chargers in 2011 to 2012. He was an offensive quality control coach with the Cleveland Browns in 2013. And then he did the same for the Chargers in 2014 to 2015. And then he was the quarterbacks coach with the Chargers from 2016 to 2019. And then became the interim offensive coordinator for the Chargers in 2019. Then full-time offensive coordinator in 2020 for the Chargers. And now, since 2021, has been the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. And it sounds like he's had a pretty solid track record. So he's 37 years old, out of Sacramento, California. So he seems to have a great track record. And hey, when you think about it, there's been a lot of desire for an offensive-minded type of coach. Seems like he could fit the bill. Now, I know this would be his first head coaching gig if he does get hired, whether it's with Carolina or anywhere else. But he seems like he would fit the bill as an offensive-minded head coach. So, seems like a worthy candidate. Okay. Next up, we have Frank Reich. 61-year-old Frank Reich. So, most recently, he was the head coach of the Colts. He has a record over the last 5 seasons of 40, 33, and 1. And let's also keep in mind that he has won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2018 as the offensive coordinator. And he's technically went to 4 straight Super Bowls as Jim Kelly's backup with the Buffalo Bills a long time ago. And he was the original starting quarterback for the Carolina Panthers when they debuted in 1995. Kevin, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Hello, that was a great game. I honestly thought it would be a little closer. Happy for Dak and the Cowboys, but kind of sad seeing the GOAT walk off for possibly his last game and season. He can retire and kick rocks for all I care, especially after the dirty play that he made. He can retire and stay retired for all I care. And it really should have been us in that game going up against Dallas. Anyway, Frank Reich, 61 years old. Definitely an offensive guy. Has quite a resume. Of course, he was a former player. Max, welcome to the stream. Hey, Blitz, love the idea of getting so it's Steichen. Steichen. Gotcha. Thank you so much for correcting me. Steichen. Thank you for letting me know that, because I honestly kept butchering it. So Steichen. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Shane Steichen. Gotcha. So Frank Reich has been a quarterback for the Bills, Panthers, Jets, and Lions. So he's been around a little bit as a player. Not a whole lot of crazy stats in his NFL career. 40 touchdowns, 36 interceptions, a passer rating of 72.9, 6,075 passing yards. I mean, did a little something, I guess. A little something. You know, it was a little something. But I mean, we finished that season initially at 7-9. So I mean, there's that. But after his time as a player, he has been from 06-07 a coaching intern for the Indianapolis Colts. In 08, he was the offensive coaching staff assistant. And then 09 to 2010, he was the quarterback's coach. Then in 2011, wide receivers coach. And then he went to the Arizona Cardinals for the first time in 2012, wide receivers coach. Then he went to the San Diego Chargers in 2013 to be quarterback's coach. And then 2014 to 2015, he was the offensive coordinator of the San Diego Chargers. So his first offensive coordinator gig. And then from 2016 to 2017 was the Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator. And technically in 2018, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, he was the offensive coordinator. And then from 2018 to 2022, he came back to the Indianapolis Colts, getting his first head coaching gig. And head coaching record, 40, 33, and 1. With a that's regular season. Postseason, 1 and 2. So it's got a little bit of postseason experience. But you know, I mean, looking at that record and looking what he brings to the table, might not be a bad idea. I mean, had some early success with Indianapolis as a head coach. Was been kind of up and down. I mean, 10-6, then 7-9, then 11-5, then 9-8, and then 3-5-1. So I mean, a fresh start could be key for Frank Reich. So, I mean, I could definitely see the idea of him potentially being head coach at for the Carolina Panthers. I mean, maybe a fresh start could be good for him. I don't know. But there's a reason why he's on the radar. There's a reason for it. Anyway, next up, we got Steve Wilkes, who was the interim head coach to finish out this previous season. Steve Wilkes, a Charlotte, North Carolina native, says here, graduate of West Charlotte High School and Appalachian State University, and a former assistant coach at Johnson C. Smith. Wilkes has local roots and a track record of success as defensive coach, including serving as defensive coordinator under Ron Rivera, which he did a phenomenal job. He coached the Cardinals for one season, and he went 6-6 as interim head coach of the Panthers this year. All facts. Okay. Rundown of Steve Wilkes. 53 years old, out of Charlotte, North Carolina. He's a Charlotte native, so played for the Charlotte Rage arena football team back in 93, which was apparently based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Definitely a lot of coaching experience in general. Max says, I just can't get over Wilkes' time at the Cardinals. It was ugly. Yeah, that it was. That it was. But he has a lot of coaching experience in general. Was the defensive coordinator at Johnson C. Smith from 95 to 96. Was the defensive coordinator at Savannah State from 97 to 98. Was also the head coach of Savannah State in 99. Then went to Illinois State in 2000 and was the defensive backs coach. In 01, he was the defensive backs coach at Appalachian State. So, hey, went there for college and even got a chance to coach there in college. In 02, he was the East Tennessee State defensive coordinator. Bowling Green in 03, he was the defensive backs coach. In Notre Dame in 04, he was the defensive backs coach. In Washington, the Huskies, that is, he was the secondary coach in 05. And then got his first start in the NFL as the Chicago Bears defensive backs coach from 06 to 08. Kevin says, my favorite coach for this team would be Doug Peterson. He is one of the greats and seems to be working well with Trevor Lawrence. I did think it was a little interesting that he got let go from the Philadelphia Eagles, but no, that's not a bad pick. In 09 to 2011, he was the San Diego Chargers defensive backs coach. And then got his first taste of the Carolina Panthers from 2012 to 2014, defensive backs coach. And then in 2015 to 2016, he was the assistant head coach and defensive backs coach. Then in 2017, assistant head coach and defensive coordinator. So from 2012 to 2017, all with the Carolina Panthers. And then he got his first head coaching gig in the NFL as the head coach of the 2018 Arizona Cardinals, which unfortunately did not go well. Then 2019, he was the Cleveland Browns defensive coordinator. So back to where he shined the best. Then back to college in 2021 as the defensive coordinator for Missouri. And then he's right back to the Carolina Panthers in 2022 as the defensive passing game coordinator and secondary coach, then turned into interim head coach. So that's Steve Wilkes' record. Hey, Twan, welcome to the stream. Bring Wilkes back. He's definitely a rightful candidate in the discussion. Overall head coaching record for the regular season in college was 5-6, and the NFL 9-19. So he's taken some bumps, a lot of bumps and bruises, but some say glimmer of hope this season as he was able to take over as interim head coach and do a much better job than Matt Rule and finish with a record of 6-6. I mean, after all, when Rule was head coach this year, only had one win under his belt. So definitely a big difference. But him being a Charlotte, North Carolina native and him being highly uplifted and praised by his team, one would seem to put him at the forefront to win a shot as full-time head coach for next season. Twan says, Wilkes was always asked to take garbage jobs. The team wants him back. Well, that definitely may be the case, but I can definitely understand why he took them in the first place. I mean, the man has shined greatly as defensive coach, coordinator. Like, that's his forte, and I don't think anybody could argue any worse for Steve Wilkes when it comes to coaching defense. And, having the opportunity to coach at Arizona, I mean, it's a big deal. I don't blame him for taking that on. Despite lack of assets, especially on the team, that season. But I mean, I can't blame him for taking on the job. I mean, opportunity to become head coach. I don't think anybody can blame him. But hey, he is highly praised by his team. The team wants him. Not sure how David Tepper feels. Not sure if he was impressed enough. But the team definitely wants him. The fan base, I feel like, is kind of split. Maybe split, maybe more so on the yes, they want him back more than the no's. But there's definitely some yays and nays within the Keep Pounding Nation when it comes to Steve Wilkes. So Max says, my pick is Steichen or Sean Payton, which they have been given permission to interview Sean Payton. Another name on this list that, honestly, I feel like could be a sleeper, and that's Jim Caldwell. Jim Caldwell. So, says that Jim Caldwell, a former assistant under and protege of Hall of Fame coach Tony Dungy. Caldwell has a career record of 62-50 and had winning seasons in 3 of his 4 years with the Detroit Lions. And I felt like it was an absolute travesty that he got fired from the Detroit Lions. And 2 of his 3 years with the Colts, which he led the charge during the post-Peyton Manning injury year. Went to the playoffs in 4 of his 7 years, and he coached at the University of Wake Forest. Jim Caldwell, age 68 out of Bellup, Wisconsin. I don't even know if I said that correctly. But Jim Caldwell, a two-time Super Bowl champion, by the way. As a head coach, or as, his coaching experience. So in Iowa, he's a graduate assistant in 1977. Then he moved to Southern Illinois, became wide receivers coach from 1978 to 1980. Then went to Northwestern in 1981 to be the offensive assistant. In Colorado, from 1982 to 1984, wide receivers coach. 1985, he was the wide receivers coach for Louisville. From 1986 to 1992, he was the quarterbacks coach at Penn State. And then he was the head coach of the Wake Forest Demon Deacons from 1993 to the year 2000. His first head coaching gig. Then transitions to the NFL, was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2001 quarterbacks coach. Then from 2002 to 2008, he was the assistant head coach and quarterbacks coach for the Indianapolis Colts. And then from 2009 to 2011, had his first head coaching gig with the Indianapolis Colts. Then in the Baltimore Ravens in 2012, he was the quarterbacks coach. And then also interim offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. Then in 2013, same thing with the Ravens. He was offensive coordinator. And then his second head coaching gig, 2014 to 2017, head coach of the Detroit Lions. And then in 2019, for the Miami Dolphins, he was assistant head coach and quarterbacks coach. Jim Caldwell's been around many, many teams, many, many different roles. His career head coaching record. So for regular season in the NFL, 62-50 with a postseason of 2-4. His college career, 26-63. So kind of low in his college career, but NFL, much, much better. Let's see. Actually, Max, you make a great point. He says Jim Caldwell is a great option. The problem is he could take on the job and then may want to retire in a few years. Although the man can clearly coach, that's for sure. And that's a good point because we got to remember he's 68 years old. Actually, he just had a birthday yesterday. So, hey, happy birthday, Jim Caldwell. He just turned 68. Yeah, birthday January 16th. So, happy birthday. Honestly, I think he's definitely a suitable coach, but I think to Mac's point, he is up there in age. Something to think about. But would he fit the bill? Absolutely. Absolutely. This man legit got dogged out in Detroit despite having multiple winning seasons with the Detroit Lions, and he got dogged out. It was a shame how badly he got dogged out when he was head coach of the Detroit Lions. It was ridiculous. It was so ridiculous. Because he was a big part of what helped Detroit be relevant again. Okay. John Payton. So we know that we've gotten permission to interview him. Sean Payton. 59-year-old Sean Payton out of San Mateo, California. Was a former quarterback. Mainly for arena football. But he did also play in the Canadian Football League, so the CFL as well as the NFL. And he has quite a handful of coaching experience, and the record definitely shows. So, Sean Payton, 59 years old. Let's run down his resume. So, as a player, in 1987, he played for the Chicago Bruisers, Pittsburgh Gladiators, Ottawa Rough Riders, and the Chicago Bears. In 1988, he played for the Lancaster Panthers. Okay. Vietnam says it won't matter who our coach is without a young franchise quarterback to pair with them. I'm just saying. I mean, to be fair, even with Sam Darnold, I mean, Steve Wilkes did finish 6-6, and Sam Darnold played, I mean, to be honest, played some of his best football in a long time in his NFL career. So, just to be fair. But I do think the quarterback is on their way. The quarterback definitely is on their way. Vietnam. Definitely. The quarterback is on its way. As a coach, from 1988 to 89, he was the offensive assistant for San Diego State. From 1990 to 1991, he was the running backs coach and wide receivers coach for Indiana State. And then right back to San Diego State from 92 to 93 as the running backs coach. And then offensive coordinator in 94 to 95 for University of Miami, Ohio. And then 1996, he was the quarterbacks coach for Illinois. And then first taste of coaching in the NFL as he was the Philadelphia Eagles quarterbacks coach from 1997 to 1998. And then in 99, he was the quarterbacks coach for the New York Giants. And then from 2000 to 2002, he was the offensive coordinator for the New York Giants. And then from 03 to 05, the assistant head coach and quarterbacks coach for the Dallas Cowboys. And then he got his first big head coaching role from 06 to 2011 with the New Orleans Saints. And then he took a step back and coached at Liberty Christian School, a private college. He was the offensive coordinator there. But still continued his head coaching at the New Orleans Saints up to 2021. And he does have a Super Bowl for the 09 season as head coach. And he was the AP Coach of the Year in 06. Not really much stats as a player. I mean, in the NFL, he was 8 of 23, 79 yards, an interception, a 34.8 completion percentage. In arena football, 5 of 14, 47 yards, 3 interceptions, a completion percentage of 35.7. So, not really good as a player. But when it comes to head coaching, it's the complete opposite. Sean Payton, has a head coaching record in the NFL for regular season 152-89, a postseason record of 9-8. Now, to be honest, the only thing that I have against him is the whole Bountygate scandal. Dude can coach, that's for sure. Dude can definitely coach. But that Bountygate scandal rubs me the wrong way. Haven't quite been able to get over it, but it rubs me the wrong way. Now, the funny thing is he's been a head coach in the NFC South his whole career. And he has won the NFC South 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. 7 times Sean Payton has won the NFC South. And he has coached in the NFC South his entire head coaching career. Whew. I mean, I gotta be honest. Bountygate scandal or not, the dude is a very well overqualified head coach. Might only have 1 Super Bowl, but the dude knows how to get to the playoffs. The dude knows how to coach. The dude knows how to coach. So that's pretty much, for the most part, how the coaching search has been or is going so far. But to be honest, I don't know. I'm really keeping an open mind about this. Because, I mean, you have some very well qualified candidates. Even the candidates that have yet to have a taste at head coaching, which, Shane Steichen is one of those. So, I mean, you got some pretty dang on qualified candidates. Also, let's take a look at Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson. Because that's another name that's been mentioned. Oh, Vietnam says the compensation that it would take to get Sean Payton from the Saints, or from the Aints, I see what you did there, would be massive. And I don't want to give up draft capital when we have so many needs to fill. That is also a disadvantage, or a con, with going in on Sean Payton. Jesse says Dak attack. Yeah, literally. And it was crazy. He literally had his way with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight. Like, I'm not even kidding. But Vietnam brings up a good point. Well-qualified coach, but it would be difficult. It would take a lot to get a Sean Payton. Question it comes down to is, would it be worth it? That's really what it comes down to. Okay, Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, which I believe Ben Johnson is the youngest. Or wait, hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Yeah. So the youngest, as of now, the youngest coach that they'd be interviewing, offensive coordinator currently, went to high school in North Carolina and Asheville and went to college at UNC Chapel Hill. Cortega 98. What you think about next week? Oh, about the matchups for next week? Good question. To be honest, I think we're going to get a great showdown between the Giants and the Eagles. I think that'll be a great game. Cowboys and Niners. Cowboys and Niners could actually go either way. Cincinnati and Buffalo. That'll be really good. Jacksonville and the Chiefs. I think Jacksonville will put a great effort, but I just don't see them going over the Chiefs. I don't. So I think the Chiefs will advance to the AFC Championship. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bills over Cincinnati, but could go either way. I'm going to pick the Niners over the Cowboys. And I'm going to pick the Eagles over the Giants. But that's a game that could go either way. Cortega 98 says, what's next for Brady? We just see his last game, or is he coming back? Honestly, I hope he retires and stays retired and kicks rocks. I hope he just stays retired. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him. He might be the GOAT, but he's a dirty GOAT. And he just showed tonight that he can be a dirty player. So honestly, I hope Brady retires and stays retired. Plain and simple as that. Bro should have never came back. I mean, he sacrificed his marriage to come back. So the dude's addicted to competition. I mean, I really don't know why he came back, considering there's really nothing for him to prove. Nothing. There's nothing for him to prove. But yet, was willing to sacrifice his marriage. That should tell you something. Okay. Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Let's run him down. As a coach, so started off in 2009 to 2010 as a graduate assistant for Boston College. Then in 2011, he was the Boston College tight ends coach. Then got his first taste of the NFL as the 2012 offensive assistant for the Miami Dolphins. And then from 2013 to 2015, he was the Miami Dolphins assistant quarterbacks coach. He was also tight ends coach in 2015 as well for the Miami Dolphins. And then from 2016 to 2017, he was the assistant wide receivers coach for the Miami Dolphins. And then in 2018, he was the Miami Dolphins wide receivers coach. Then transitioned to the Detroit Lions in 2019, where he was the offensive quality control coach. And then in 2020 to 2021, the tight ends coach for the Lions. And then 2022 to now, the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator. Well, he seems to be very promising. Not to mention, the Lions finished 9-8 this season, almost made the playoffs, finished second in the NFC North. And they had a really rough start to their season. But then when they got to the Packers, beat them, they started blowing up. I mean, they won 8 out of their final 10 games. Yeah, they won 8 out of their final 10 games of the season. So, I mean, Ben Johnson definitely seems like a name that's floating around, especially here, many other Panther fans wanting Ben Johnson. So, I mean, you got some quality candidates. And I really don't think this is going to be an easy decision. At least I don't think it will be an easy decision, to be honest with y'all. I don't know if there have been any other I think D'Amico Ryans was talked about, but he's off the list. So he's off the list. And I believe I think Jared Mayo may be off the list. And I think Kellen Moore may be off the list. But it'll be very interesting to see. So, actually, here we go. So, according to David Newton, there were 10 candidates. So, besides the ones we named, we went through Steve Wilkes, went through Jim Caldwell, went through Frank Reich, we went through Ben Johnson, went through Shane Steichen. Mike Kafka, Giants offensive coordinator. I guess we'll go through him. Mike Kafka, Giants offensive coordinator, 35 years old, so another young guy, young candidate out of Chicago, Illinois. Played at Northwestern. Let's see. Or actually, yeah, Northwestern. Yeah. So, Mike Kafka. So, as a player, he's played for the Philadelphia Eagles from 2010 to 2011. Was a practice squad member in 2013 for the Patriots and the Jaguars. Played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2014. In 2015, he played for the Vikings and was practice squad for the Titans and Bengals in 2015. So, not really much there. As a coach, So he was a graduate assistant in 2016 for Northwestern, and then got his first taste of coaching in the NFL with the Kansas City Chiefs in 2017 as the offensive quality control coach. And then in 2018 to 2019, he was the quarterbacks coach for the Chiefs. And then 2020 to 2021, quarterbacks coach and passing game coordinator for the Chiefs. And then 2022 to now, the New York Giants current offensive coordinator. And they got a playoff game coming up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Also, he was second team All Big Ten player in 2009, and he does have a Super Bowl as a coach, which of course was the 2019 season where the Chiefs won the title, and he was quarterbacks coach. So hey, even got to work with Patrick Mahomes. Hey. As a player, 11 of 16, 107 yards, 2 interceptions, passer rating 47.7. But I mean, he's definitely been killing it. Been calling the offensive plays during preseason and training camp, and then got upgraded to be the play caller for the regular season after he had a great preseason. So, and right now they're in the playoffs. So, hey, you know, he'll be another young coach. He'll be another young coach. Next up, Kellen Moore, the Cowboys' current offensive coordinator. Take a look at him. 34-year-old Kellen Moore out of Prosser, Washington. Went to Boise State for college. As a player, he played with the Detroit Lions from 2012 to 2014. And then played with the Dallas Cowboys from 2015 to 2017. As a coach, got his first taste. Quarterbacks coach for the Dallas Cowboys in 2018. And then from 2019 to now, Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator. His career NFL statistics as a player: 61 of 104, 58.7 completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, passing yards of 779, and a passer rating of 71.0. Other highlights: he was a 2-time quarterback of the year winner. Looks like back in college. He was a 2-time WAC offensive player of the year. 2009 and 2010, MWC offensive player of the year in 2011, WAC freshman of the year in 2008, 2-time first all-team WAC, which is the Western Athletic Conference, in 2009 and 2010, first team all MWC, which is Mountain West Conference, in 2011, and second team all WAC in 2008. So sounds like he was quite a success in college as a player. But hey, as offensive coordinator, apparently he has shined as offensive coordinator. So will he be able to transition that into head coaching? Remains to be seen. Ken Dorsey, the Bills' offensive coordinator. Another familiar name when it comes to the Carolina Panthers, for obvious reasons. Ken Dorsey, 41 years old, out of Orinda, California. Played at the University of Miami, Florida. As a player, he was with the 49ers from 03 to 05, the Browns from 06 to 08, and the Toronto Argonauts in the CFL in 2010. As a coach, he was the Carolina Panthers quarterbacks coach. That's where he got his first taste from 2013 to 2017. Then he went to the Buffalo Bills in 2019, and from 2019 to 2020 was the quarterbacks coach. In 2021, he was passing game coordinator and quarterbacks coach. And then in 2022 to now, offensive coordinator for the Bills. He also has some other backgrounds with the Carolina Panthers. He was a pro scout from 2011 to 2012 and was Florida International University's assistant athletic director in 2018. As far as a player, first team All-American in 2002, two-time Archie Griffin Award winner in 2001 and 2002, NCAA Quarterback of the Year twice in 2001 and 2002, two-time Chick Harley Award in 2001-02, Maxwell Award in 2001, and won the BCS National Championship in 2001. His NFL career, 2014 of 408, a 52.5 completion percentage, 8 touchdowns, 18 interceptions, 2,082 passing yards with a passer rating of 55.2. So not really a great NFL record or, NFL stats, but he shined the most pretty much in college when it comes to him as a player. But a lot of offensive experience there, especially as quarterbacks coach and now offensive coordinator. So if it's anybody that works well with quarterbacks, dude has worked with Cam Newton. He's working with Josh Allen. So another great offensive mind that we at least have some experience with in Ken Dorsey. So there's that. I know he's off the table, so to speak, but let's look at DeMeco Ryans. DeMeco Ryans, defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers currently. DeMeco Ryans, 38 years old, out of Bessemer, Alabama. Went to college at the University of Alabama as well. As a player, he played with the Houston Texans from 2006 to 2011, for the Philadelphia Eagles from 2012 to 2015. So played on 2 teams in his NFL career as a player. As a coach, got his first taste with the 49ers. Pretty much he's only coached for the 49ers. In 2017, he was the defensive quality control coach. And then from 2018 to 2020, he was the inside linebackers coach. And then from 2021 to 2022, defensive coordinator, all with the 49ers. And he's even had some success as a player. He was a former defensive rookie of the year in 2006. He was first team All-Pro in 2007, 2-time Pro Bowler in 2007 and 2009. And he was on the PFWA All-Rookie team in 2006. He won the Lott Trophy in 2005, SEC Defensive Player of the Year in 2005, unanimous All-American in 2005, and first team All-SEC in 2005. He has an NFL career statistics of 971 total tackles, 13 and a half sacks, 7 forced fumbles, 10 fumble recoveries, 7 interceptions, and 1 defensive touchdown. Well, he's definitely made some impact as a player. I will give him that. And he's played in 143 total NFL games. So, hey, not bad. Not bad. So, defensive-minded coach. And like I said, seems like another person that knows defense, just like Steve Wilks. And right now, he's in the playoffs with the Niners as they get ready to take on the Cowboys. And then Jared Mayo from the Patriots. Jared Mayo, currently inside linebackers coach for the Patriots. 36 years old, out of Hampton, Virginia. Played at the University of Tennessee. Played with the New England Patriots his whole NFL career from 2008 to 2015. And as a coach, inside linebackers coach from 2019 to now with the Patriots. He does have 1 Super Bowl ring. He was also a Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2008. First team All-Pro in 2010. 2-time Pro Bowler in 2010 and 2012. PFWA All-Rookie team in 2008. He is also on the New England Patriots All-2010s team. And he was a first-team All-SEC in 2007. His career NFL statistics, 803 total tackles, 11 sacks, 8 forced fumbles, 7 fumble recoveries, 19 pass deflections, and 3 interceptions. And right now, he's the inside linebackers coach of the New England Patriots. Probably not somebody that I would consider, but supposedly, according to David Newton, he is on the list of candidates. Now, looking at just these 10, well, actually 11 if you include Sean Payton. So 11 would be Sean Payton. So Steve Wilks, Jim Caldwell, Frank Reich, Ben Johnson, Shane Steichen, Mike Kafka, Kellen Moore, Ken Dorsey, D'Amico Ryans, Jared Mayo, Sean Payton. Going through this list, Steve Wilks, who is at the top for a reason. Do I think he has a strong chance? Yeah, I do, especially considering the team wants him. The team really, really wants him. The chemistry's there. So I could see Steve Wilks being brought back full time. Jim Caldwell, my only thing with Jim Caldwell is just his age. And, that's kind of minor. But if I could think of one issue, it's just his age. That's all. He's up there in age. But would I consider him? Yes. Would I definitely consider him? Yes. So Steve Wilks, Jim Caldwell, Frank Reich. I mean, Frank Reich has a great coaching record. He's an offensive kind of guy. He's been successful. I mean, and he has a Super Bowl when he was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl in 2018. So I mean, he's been to the big dance. Would I consider Frank Reich? Why not? So that's 3. Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, I would have to say, yeah. I don't see why not. I mean, it's a strong candidate for offensive-minded coach. Not to mention, he's from South Carolina, so I mean, he's not far. I mean, he's a South Carolinian, but hey, not far. And he's a young guy, only 36 years old. So I would say yay for Ben Johnson. Shane Steichen. I mean, Shane Steichen is killing it with the Eagles right now. He's killing it. Another offensive-minded coach. Mike Kafka with the Giants. Offensive-minded. Kellen Moore with the Cowboys. Offensive-minded. Ken Dorsey, who has experience with the Carolina Panthers, quarterbacks coach. I mean, he's worked with Cam Newton. He's worked with Josh Allen. DeMeco Ryans, defensive kind of guy. Jared Mayo, defense. Sean Payton, plenty of head coaching experience. But the thing with him is it would cost a lot in money and in draft capital, as Fatnam mentioned, which was a great point. But when it comes down to it, would it be worth it? So just based on this, here is who I would be fine with as far as new head coach or whatnot, or head coach for next season. So Steve Wilkes, why not? Sure. The team likes him. Did a better job than Matt Rule. Although he couldn't get the job done and get into the playoffs. With the type of impact that he's brought, and looking back at the games that we lost where he wasn't head coach, could potentially have gone the other way if he did coach since the beginning of the season. Remains to be seen, but still does raise an eyebrow or so. But overall, would I be mad if we kept Steve Wilkes as full-time head coach? Of course not. So I'll give a thumbs up. Steve Wilkes. Why not? Jim Caldwell. You know what? Despite age being potentially a minor issue, because, I mean, he could end up retiring. He is 68. He's the oldest out of these candidates. But you know something? Jim Caldwell is a great coach. Thumbs up for Jim Caldwell. Frank Reich. Somebody that has a good coaching record. Very strong offensive-minded. And hey, I don't see why not. He has, technically some ties, being that he was the first Carolina Panthers quarterback. I don't know how much that would mean now, but it's something. But you know what? Frank Reich, why not? Thumbs up for Frank Reich. Ben Johnson seems like a very strong offensive-minded type of coach, potentially. And like I said, had a very strong finish with the Detroit Lions second half of the season, winning 8 of their final 10 games to finish 9-8. He's a young guy, could really help add to this offense and definitely boost it. And I feel like he's a good candidate for an offensive-minded type of coach. So Ben Johnson, thumbs up. Shane Steichen. I mean, you already see what he's doing with the Philadelphia Eagles. Need I say more? Thumbs up for Shane Steichen. Mike Kafka. Well, another offensive mind. While it seemed like folks were ready to give up on Daniel Jones, I mean, look at how the Giants have done this season. In the playoffs, got to give a thumbs up for Mike Kafka. Kellen Moore. Another offensive mind. Been working with Dak Prescott. You know, this could be another big year for Dak Prescott. But I'm very sure that he could bring a good offensive mind to the team. So you know what? Why not? For Kellen Moore. Ken Dorsey. I mean, already has plenty of experience coaching in Carolina. Was a big impact on coaching up Cam Newton. Big impact on coaching up Josh Allen. And he's transitioned pretty well into an offensive coordinator. So you know what? I would take a chance on Ken Dorsey. Thumbs up. D'Amico Ryans. Now I know supposedly he's off the radar. So, you know, that's not happening. But if it came down to it, I mean, a defensive-minded coach, I mean, another defensive-minded coach. In all honesty, you know what? Mainly because I think I'm going to say thumbs down just because, I mean, if we're going to go with him, we might as well go with Steve Wilkes, I guess. That's what I'm saying. That's all I can really say about that. Jared Mayo. Nah. Sean Payton. while he would be a great coach, it would cost way too much to get him. And the Bounty Gate scandal has rubbed me the wrong way. So, thumbs down for Sean Payton. Now, I want to leave something with y'all to think about. Now, I'm not saying that Steve Wilkes doesn't deserve to be a candidate. He absolutely should. But I want y'all to think about something. While Steve Wilkes, the team wants him to be full-time head coach, the players, all that, many fans of the Keep Pounding Nation. Let me ask y'all something. Why hasn't any other team interviewed Steve Wilkes? Why hasn't any other team requested to interview Steve Wilkes? I mean, call me playing devil's advocate here, but I mean, if he did such a great job, he's such a great coach, why aren't other teams interviewing him? Why haven't any other teams requested to interview him? I mean, Cardinals haven't requested an interview, and they let go of Cliff Kingsbury. The Colts haven't requested an interview with them, and they let go of Frank Reich. Denver hasn't requested to meet and interview Steve Wilkes. All I'm saying is just something to think about. It's that big of a deal. He's done that great of a job. Why aren't any other teams requesting to interview him? That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. Broncos, Cardinals, Colts. I mean, heck, the Texans, they let go of Lovie Smith. The Texans. Why isn't anybody else requesting to interview Steve Wilkes? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's my whole thing. I just thought about it. But yeah. As a matter of fact, yeah. I mean, that's at least one. Hold up. That's at least 1, 2, 3, 4. That's at least 4 teams right there. That's at least 4 teams right there that are looking for coaches. But like I said, I mean, 5 if you include Carolina, but, Carolina, they're the only ones that's interviewed Steve Wilks. But you got 4 other teams out there that have yet to interview Steve Wilks. Not even anything mentioned about him being on the radar or being requested to get interviewed or anything like that. I'm going to just leave y'all with that. I would love to hear feedback on that. I would love to hear feedback. I want to thank those that came through tonight and joined the stream, chatted up with me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll have to see what happens. Still a lot of work to do, but keep pounding. We're going to get through this. Anyway, for another Carolina Panthers talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube, I'm your host, Jason Ingram. Everybody have a blessed evening, and I will see y'all in the next video /live stream. Peace out.